Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's go over another premium hard question in the panda section that I just solved on my own. So I'm really proud of this because this one was kind of a struggle trying to parse out all of the dates, and yeah, it just took kind of a while, but at the end I was able to come up with my own solution without any assistance, so I'm pretty happy about that. So let me show you how I did it. So this one's called Friday Purchases number 2, and basically what they want you to do is return this. Basically you want to understand, so we're only looking at November of 23, so that helps us a lot, right? So every purchase date will be unique from November 1st to 23rd, and inclusive of both dates, so 1 and 30 are included. So basically now we will have to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are also included. So we have to make sure that every Friday, we want to keep track of every Friday. And then we also want how much was spent if the Friday was recorded. Like 11:10, for example, is not recorded here, so you just do 0. 17 is not recorded. 24 is recorded. Together, 9 plus 12, this plus this is 21,692. There's only 1, 3, so that's what you want to return. And then obviously each month has only 4 weeks, so that's pretty straightforward. And again, the fact that this is every week and only 1 month, the specific month of November of 2023, makes it a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and try to get every single Friday. So let's call this days. We have Monday. I'm just going to label it like this: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So now if you make some observations, because it says here that Friday is actually 03, so we want to actually start for I in range up to 31, and let's print I minus 1, because if you notice that if we do this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then Friday becomes 3. So then we can just keep track of the actual dates in a dictionary. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and say D of I minus 1, or actually D. So we want the actual value itself. So the value is just going to be days of I. Let's print value. So days of I modulo length of days, because it might go out of bounds. So we want to go back to 0 once we're like out of range. So we want to wrap back around basically. So as you can see now we have 3 as F, which is what we want. So that's how we're checking our work. So D of value is, so we want to keep track of the actual day itself. So 3 is mapped to, so D of I minus 1 is mapped to value. Okay, so let's print D. Okay, so now we have these dates, and what we're going to do now is try to loop through this, and we're going to try to say, okay, if this is a Friday, then do we have that value? So basically for 3, is this ends with 3? If it is, then we know that it's the same one because we're keeping track of the day. And what we can actually do is, instead of this, it makes it easier to actually just do end is going to be string of I minus 1. Let's print end. Okay, so now we can just do yeah, so string is I minus 1, end is like this, because now we're just thinking, okay, so if this is only of length 1, then we can just add 0 in the front. So that's what I'm thinking. So if length of end is equal to 1, then end equals to 0 plus end, right? Because it's a single digit number. So just to make our life a little easier, because for me it got pretty messy. Okay, so okay, cool. So now we can just say D of end is equal to value. Okay. Oh, and also end has to do, end is equal to, so as you can see, 0102 is equal to 2023 11 plus end. Okay, so cool. So now we can see that this is Friday. Good. And now we can just match that back to the purchase date. And it makes it a little bit easier because the challenging part is keeping track of which one's a Friday. So now we can just say for K and D, if DK is equal to F, then let's go ahead and print K. So now we can see which ones are actually Fridays. So, why is this? Let's print D. Okay, so we also have to, regardless of what happens, this always is a new length. Okay, cool. So this is Monday. Okay, cool. So now let's print K. Cool. So now those are the Fridays. Awesome. Now we just have to keep each of these dates and then keep track of every single time it was hit and how much amount was spent on it. If it's not in there, then that's obviously defaulting towards 0. So we can just say we have to make another dictionary. So let's call this amount is equal to another default dict of type int. So amount of K. So, okay, so for IP and enumerate purchases of purchase date, if P, which is this, is equal to K, then let's just go ahead and say amount of K plus equals to the amount spent of the same row, right? Purchases amount spend I. Let's print amount. What? Okay, this is not. That looks right to me. Okay, this is the nasty part because print P and K. So P has to actually be, we have to parse this out into, so cur is list of P, or it's P dot split like this. Let's print current of 0. Then it doesn't have those attributes, so you have to do this. It's kind of a pain. You have to just call it string of P dot split. Let's keep doing this until you don't get a compilation error, and then let's print current of 0. Okay, cool. Now, if current of 0 is equal to K, then we can do that. Okay, awesome. So now we have those, and what we have to do now is just go over for K and D. If K is not in amount, then amount of K is equal to 0, right? Because that's exactly what we need. Because 10 and 17, what the heck? So if D of K is equal to F, it's only Fridays that we care about, right? Then we do that. Get rid of this, get rid of this, distraction, distraction. Okay, cool. Now we have basically have our answer. So we want to sort this by the purchase date, and then obviously 4 weeks in a month. So let's call this weeks well, let's just call this week is 0, and then just keep incrementing that. Basically, now we can return the skeleton. Purchases columns equals week of month. I wish Leetcode would just have like auto complete so we don't have to type everything out like that. All right, thank you. Total amount. Obviously, got to pre-fill these with data. Is equal to, let's just say user ID, that purchases amount spend is equal to that. Cool. Now we can populate it, because actually what we want to do is go for amount. So amount is a dictionary. We want to sort by this first. So let's create a list for a and amount. H.append the key first. So the key first, and then also the value, right? Yes, because we're sorting by the purchase date. And then h.sort. If we print h, purchases, did I spell something wrong? Leetcode, please have better autocomplete. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we have exactly what we need, and we can just fill this now. So from top to bottom, and this week starts at 1. For, we only have 4 weeks, so dot head 4. Okay, so 4 or whatever, you can also do, just do length of h for I, v, and enumerates h purchases week of month. So which one are we looking at? We're fill row 0 or 1, 2, 3 is equal to. So this one is just equal to the week, right? We're going to increment that. Then we can just say purchases purchase date of I is equal to, so the week, but then this and then this, right? And then this is equal to v of 0, and then total amounts of I is equal to v1. Okay, I think we're done here. Okay, so let's run this. Oh my god. Oh, it has to be an integer. What are we talking about now? Validate time, maybe integer, I don't know. Nope. Wait, is it because I filled it with, oh, okay. Maybe you should do the same data type. No? Okay. So amount spend, I guess the integers have to line up here. So user ID. Total amount, oh, wait, I did this wrong. Total amount is user ID. Okay, so submit it. And there you go, passes all test cases. So again, kind of busted my ass here for a while figuring this out, but again, I was able to do it on my own without any assistance. Again, come up with my own solution, and it looks to be very efficient in terms of runtime and memory, so I'm pretty proud of that, especially for a Leetcode hard question. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.